Greetings, fellow humans. We are here today reflecting and rejuvenating. And what better energy to talk about today than Chiron, the wounded healer? I was looking at the stars today and was so focused on Chiron for some reason, and it just made me think about the story of Chiron and wanting to share what I know about Chiron and maybe see if someone else wants to hear or wants to learn a little bit about Chiron. So, there's a point in your chart that shows both your deepest wound and your greatest potential to heal. This is called Chiron. Now, the myth about Chiron is Chiron was a healer who could heal others but couldn't fully heal himself when he was injured, right? Because of this, he became wise, compassionate, and deeply understanding of pain. Chiron was able to finally be released from his everlasting pain because he couldn't die by taking the place of Prometheus, who was in punishment from Jupiter. And could only be released from that punishment if someone decided to take Prometheus's place willingly. And Chiron decided to do that. And since Chiron took his place, Chiron was able to finally die. There's more to the story, but I'm just like kind of summing it up a little bit. And through that compassion, that wisdom, Chiron teaches the story that your wound isn't separate from your wisdom. It's the source of it. So even though Chiron was in pain, Chiron could heal others, but could not heal its own energy and its own self. By being compassionate still, even through its own troubles, and deeply understanding what pain was, and understanding, and I guess even giving maybe some empathy with Prometheus and taking Prometheus's place, was able to finally release itself into Chiron's true healing. So that wisdom of knowing how to heal and knowing how to be compassionate set Chiron free. So what Chiron usually represents thematically in astrology is your core wound, where you feel sensitive or exposed, patterns that may repeat until understood, but also your ability to guide, your ability to heal, and your ability to transform pain into purpose. If you follow degree-related astrology, when it comes to like a degree giving an energy to something, you can even look into what degree Chiron falls in at a potential time in your life when you experienced this great wounding. I've worked on this a few times with a few people, a few clients and friends, looking at their Chiron and seeing the degree that it falls in and realizing that that wounding happened during that time of the degree. And it doesn't have to be exact. I have Chiron at 2 degrees. So I did work on doing some past life, reflection, trying to remember like what happened at 2? What happened at 2? But for that age, it is just more so a very early childhood wounding. So when you're able to understand where your wound is and your pain is, a lot of times when you experience pain, now you understand that pain, right? This is where true resonance comes from with others. Someone can say they understand your pain or what you're going through, but until they maybe go through that pain or a similar pain, they might not fully understand. They can only empathize on how it would feel, but not understand what it feels like. So wherever Chiron is falling in your chart, you understand this pain. And because you understand it, you're one of the best suited in order to guide others through it and to transform this pain that you're experiencing to light up your life in that space in order to help heal others through that same pain. Sometimes I think about when you keep repeating something that's discomforting or a cycle, you're not necessarily maybe not learning the lesson and you keep repeating it. You're mastering that lesson. You're becoming so skilled and knowledgeable about that experience, that you are going to be the greatest guide to others. So, whatever is paining you, you can also look at it from the perspective of it's your mastery point. You are mastering how to learn to live, heal, and transform this energy in order to help guide others through it. So, thank you for mastering your pain. Chiron is currently in Aries for everyone. Um, with Chiron in Aries, the wound is around identity, self expression, confidence, and the right to exist as yourself. So, since Chiron is transiting in the sign of Aries right now, everyone's feeling the energy on wanting to be able to heal, wanting to be able to, um, I guess, be understood in their identity, their self expression, their confidence, and their right to exist. Your personal Chiron in your natal chart, unless you were born during this time when Chiron is in Aries, and if you're watching this video, hello, you advanced soul, for watching something so early in your life. But maybe you're just listening and you don't resonate because someone has it on in the background, right? You have Chiron in a different place. Chiron does not move very quickly through the sky, so there will be a lot of people around your age that also are experiencing Chiron in this place. So be careful not to trauma bond too much with the people around you, but you can find camaraderie and potential support and understanding from those similar to your age, because they also have a similar Chiron wound because it's happening in the same zodiac sign. So, the transiting of Chiron in Aries right now. So, this is something that everyone is just feeling, and you're feeling this in whatever part of your life that this Chiron is transiting. So, in Aries, this shows up as a hesitation to fully be yourself, fear of taking action, and questioning your own identity or worth. Now, remember, Chiron is not just the energy of the wound, it is also the energy of the healer. So, you might hear me say those words and be like, well, I am fully myself now. Okay, well, look back over the last few years. Have you always been that, or did you grow into being more of yourself? Were you always confident and not fearful of taking action, or did you grow into that? Uh, were you questioning your own identity or worth at any point in the last couple of years, and now you've grown into being able to know your worth, know your own identity? That just means you are growing through Chiron. It's moving through you, it's doing its healing work in that space. And if you're not there, that's okay. Maybe this video can help you spark the idea to look at where that Chiron is, look at where that wound is in Aries, in the self-identity space of your chart, and what house it's transiting, and see how you can maybe ask yourself some questions and start working with yourself in that space to do some healing. That's the beauty of astrology, of being able to work with it as a system to help you ask yourself deeper questions in order to evolve to your greatest good. There's more magic to it, but this is a really fun way to use it. So, Aries specific, when we talk about the healing path, healing can look like choosing yourself, taking action when you're uncomfortable, when it's uncomfortable to take the action, learning to trust your own instincts. It's not about becoming someone else, it's about returning to who you are. That's really what Chiron transiting Aries wants you to do. It wants you to return to who you really are inside and not who you were performing to be. Aries is the soldier of the soul, right? It's the spark and the initiator of the self and the identity. It's the baby. I love it. And babies are always true to them. Babies do not concern themselves on the needs of others and people pleasing. Babies are here to be served. They serve no master, no ruler. They are here to grow, learn, and expand in their own energy. And we can remember that by looking at the example that babies give us. And know that, yes, it's wonderful to relate and connect with others and be empathetic and understanding towards others, but to never forget to serve the self first. Chiron through the houses can be a really powerful tool to show yourself where the wound is experienced. So, I'll give you a couple examples. If you have Chiron in the first house, this is the house of identity. Chiron in the second house, more about wounds in the value and maybe your self-worth and the things that you value. Money falls in this house a lot of times because people highly value money in this life. The third house, how you communicate, your day-to-day, your experiences in your early life. The fourth house, it's going to be experiences with home, emotional safety, maybe your family, your ancestors. The sixth house, your day-to-day life, your work, your health. You could be experiencing your wounding in this place. The seventh house, relationships, how you connect with things outside of you. The ninth house, it can be about your beliefs, what you know, your higher learning and wisdom, the way that you travel through this world, how you experience the world. The I think that was, did I say that? I think I said the eighth house, but I was talking about the ninth. Let's go back to the eighth. The eighth house is going to be that deeper knowing, that deeper transformation that you're looking to experience in life. Not even looking to, you're just experiencing it. It could be once you're in a relationship with others, how being in that relationship transforms you. That's where the wounding in the eighth house can be. I already said the ninth house before. And then the 10th house is like the public life, visibility, how your legacy is, how you are presenting your creations to the world. 11th house is a big space about your community, how you network, the friends that you have, that you are spreading your wisdom to. Your dreams and your hopes fall here in the 11th house, so there could be wounding around that. Um, it's just, it's connection in the 11th for sure. And then the 12th house is the space of the unknown. It's the deep space. It's the spiritual connection that you have. It's the full completion of the cycle, the unknown. A lot of times people talk about the 12th house as being the hidden enemies, you know? The 6th house can hold your day-to-day experiences with coworkers and potential enemies, but the 12th house is the unknown. It might not be known to yourself yet. You know, it could be past life things that you're needing to remember. There can be wounding in there if Chiron is falling there. And that is natally, or if this Chiron in Aries is transiting through that house. Just look at that placement and see that area of life where growth, discomfort, and healing all meet in one space. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but through that discomfort, you're learning to grow. And through that growth, you're healing. And through your healing and growth there, you're able to teach the rest of the world how to master that space. So when you want to work with Chiron, Chiron isn't just your fix. It's something you understand. It's something you sit with and move through with awareness. Healing happens when you stop resisting the wound and start learning from it, right? So right now, currently, if I talk about pain or healing, I have a very egregious tooth pain that keeps spewing itself at certain times. And when I just sit and I fixate on it and try to figure out how to heal it, it just only puts my attention on the fact of it. And once I find myself surrendering into that pain, where I just sit with it and I acknowledge that I am experiencing this right now and I want to experience the peace and the healing. And I just sit with that. The next thing I know, I start, finding ways to treat it that I wasn't looking for it, but it just came to my mind, or someone said something, or a random video popped up, the universe sent it, for the healing of it. And then I am able to kind of lean into the pain and just allow myself to settle. And I'm not gonna lie, it usually like tapers off and allows me to continue on with what I'm going through. Now, obviously, if you're experiencing pain, this is not any type of medical advice. You get that from a professional, a doctor, whatever you want to claim that advice from. I'm not giving you medical advice because I'm legally not going down like that. So take that at your own risk. But just know from the perspective of how I experience dealing with healing and pain, when I settle in and I just exist, acknowledge that it's happening, and I surrender to it so I don't put pressure on myself to heal it, and I don't put negative energy around what's happening. I just allow it. I find so much growth in that. But that's just my own personal experience with pain, not necessarily Chiron, but with pain. Chiron doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It just means that something within you is meant to be understood and eventually shared. And isn't that really what pain indicates to us? It's not here to just disrupt your life, even though it can feel like it is in the physical. It's here to let you know where something is misaligned within you, where something needs you to put a little bit of focus on. And it's best for that focus to not be negative and not be woe is me. It's best for that focus to be as neutral and observant as you can when it comes to pain, and allow that pain to show you where the healing begins. So, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button for me. I love it when you do that. Leave a comment. Let me know where you have Chiron in your chart and where you might be experiencing your own mastery in your healing work and how that's been going with you. And yeah, let's just connect on the healing journey, because it's really fun to explore the world together and to share what we know. And if you have some cool knowledge about Chiron, let me know, because I love learning about the wounded healer. I even learned a little bit about the theory and the mythology that Sagittarius, the constellation, is really Chiron in the sky and was placed there by Zeus for all of the good that Chiron did. It was formed into a constellation. So that was pretty cool to learn. So I love you. Enjoy your healing. You're a master, okay? You're a master of your pain. You're a master of your power. I love you and can't wait to see you again.